What's up, everybody? I'm Sly The Movie Guy, and here's my movie review of The Gentleman, directed and written by Ritchie, starring Matthew McConaughey, Charlie Hunnam, Hugh Grant, Colin Farrell, Henry Golding, and the rest of the other cast and crew. And in this film, an American expat tries to sell off his highly profitable marijuana empire in London, triggering plots, schemes, bribery, and blackmail in an attempt to steal his domain out from under him. I'm not going to say I'm a big Ritchie fan, like, oh, he's one of my favorite directors of all time, but the films I have enjoyed that he have directed, like Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, Snatch, and his two Sherlock Holmes films, I think he did a fantastic job directing those films, especially Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, and Snatch, and stuff, those little crime movies. I thought he did a fantastic job on those films, probably one of his best films that he have directed, and I highly recommend you checking those films out if you haven't seen them yet. And also Rock and Roller, which I enjoyed, that is directed by Ritchie. I highly recommend that one too. When it comes to King Arthur, Legend of the Sword, and Aladdin, in my opinion, I think those are one of his weakest films he have directed, and I didn't quite enjoy those films. But The Gentleman, I really enjoyed this film. Wow, what an entertaining film. And I hate I missed this in theaters. It came out this year in January, and usually movies in January are not good. But hey, I seen Bad Boys this year in January, and that was a really good film, so I highly recommend you checking it out if you haven't seen it yet. And I would have walked out and moved there like, wow, I've seen another good movie in January. But that's besides the point. Let me get into the things I love about The Gentleman. One of the things is the story concept. It really could have been a miss, because I've seen movies have this type of concept before and they failed on the characters and the writing, but this film succeeded on so many levels on that and knocked out the park. I mean, the characters were interesting, they were entertaining, the dialogue talk out of these characters when they talk to one another and stuff, it really absolutely worked. The clever humor and all that, so it kept the movie going and the concept very interesting, and that's one of the things I'll love about this movie. It just never had that dull moment, and I was looking for that, and I was like, I am just so entertained with this movie. It just keeps going, and it's fast paced too and stuff, and that's usually with Ritchie films and all that. So it absolutely was just entertaining. Everything would just keep going and stuff, and I love this film what way it was going for it, and that style absolutely works for this film. It just was fantastic, and the characters, like I said, they're just so interesting, because you see that one is like trying to plan sugaring like plots and stuff. One is trying to like do schemes. One is trying to bribe their way to this empire and stuff. So all these characters have the same goal. They want to get this empire, but have different ways they want to do it. And it was just so interesting. So I was just capturing like things what this character is doing, trying to process all of it, because it was so going fast. So one character, like I said, was triggering like plots and stuff. One was scheming, one was bribing. So you're trying to capture all that as an audience and try to figure out how all this is going to play out and how they're going to succeed in this. How one's doing the other, how they're going to pull this off without Matthew McConaughey's character knowing anything. So it just keeps you interesting. Let me talk about the directing and writing in this film. Ritchie did a fantastic job directing this film, and I'm just so happy he's back doing films like this. Because when it comes to King Arthur and Aladdin, those films just, to me, didn't feel like a Ritchie film. It just felt like he was in prison when he was making those films, especially Aladdin. I just didn't see like the Ritchie magic involved in that film. And here, I just felt like it was Ritchie film. I mean, Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels and Snatch. And if you've seen those films, you know what I'm talking about. They just felt like the Ritchie I know that directed those films. I mean, this film, it shows it here. I mean, the characters, the crime stuff involved, it really shows it. And I was absolutely happy from beginning, middle, and end. And you can tell that Ritchie was having fun making this film. You really tell. I mean, it's like he put the effort in it. I mean, with the casting crew, it's like they were having fun. And I'm glad to see him do films like this. And I would like to see him continue doing more films like this in the future. He just absolutely shines here, and I think this is like one of the things that really shows it. It shows his magic and his style and the talent and all. I really am happy at seeing that. The writing, he really does fantastic here, so those are one of the qualities I say that's one of the positives in this film. So the directing and writing absolutely is great. Now the acting in this movie. Matthew McConaughey, wow, he is freaking amazing here. I mean, I'm happy for him. This is like a comeback for him. I mean, the films he have done recently, it just wasn't good. I'm not going to talk about, but man, he's just a good actor, and his line delivery in this film was on point. I could buy into it as this character that owns this empire, and when people do stuff behind his back instead of doing shady stuff, and he finds out about it and put a serious face, I can buy into that. He was just he was just in the character, and I really love that about this movie. He was just so really good. I mean, if you see a film, you know what I'm talking about. It's just when characters do stuff behind his back, he'll make them pay and stuff. And I thought he did a fantastic job. Colin Farrell was absolutely funny in this movie. I mean, he was like one of those characters that was very entertaining. I mean, every scene that he was in, it just gets better and better. And I really enjoyed his character. I thought he did a fantastic job. Henry Golden does fantastic. I mean, films that I've seen him in was Simple Favor and Crazy Rich Asians. And now this film, he's just freaking awesome here. And I think he does a fantastic job too. Charlie Hunnam as this type of like the wise guy character, I thought he does fantastic. And I always like those characters that are very like intelligent and stuff, where they think and stuff. Because throughout this movie, Charlie Hunnam's character, when characters tell him stuff or when he talking to characters, he was very intelligent and stuff. So he'll think if a character like tell him stuff, he'd be like, huh, that don't make sense. So I really thought he delivered that very well in this film. And man, I think it was like a comeback for him after like King Arthur, the film I just last seen him in. I thought this is like this comeback role too, like Matthew McConaughey. So I thought he did fantastic. The one guy that I think really stole the show and really was like the character that I think stole every scene he was in, and he was like the driving force throughout the movie. Hugh Grant, man, he's a fantastic actor. Anyways, I mean, I last seen him in Paddington, which he did a fantastic job. But here, wow, I mean, if I was like to say Hugh Grant's best performances, if I was to rank them, it would be like in top 3, top 5. I mean, his performance is absolutely amazing. He steals the show for me. I mean, every like line delivery, it just was just so good. He was like one of those characters that you kind of like, because he like you don't know how he knows stuff, because he's like the character that gives out like exhibition stuff like that and tells stuff about the Empire and stuff, what the thing, so he can get his way into this like this deal where Matthew McConaughey character is selling off like the Empire and stuff. He's like the character that's trying to wiggle his way like through it and stuff, and you're trying to figure out how does he know this stuff, because he tells characters like Charlie Hunnam's character stuff, and you kind of like figure like how do you know this stuff. So he kind of leads you in, and some stuff he say that just not related to the Empire and stuff. So Charlie Hunnam's character had to pay attention to what he's saying, and Hugh Grant line delivery was just on point. His character was just kind of like a shady character, like kind of like a character you don't know, very sneaky and stuff. And I thought he pulled it off very well in this film. All the acting in this movie was absolutely great. I mean, the casting in this movie was great. I mean, Matthew McConaughey, Hugh Grant, Charlie Hunnam, and Colin Farrell, they were just like good casting, and all the casting in this movie, it was just on point. The casting and the acting was great. I mean, it was so great, and the directing and all that I mentioned is fantastic in this film. Now to my negatives. I do have, the movie is fast, which that's always Guy Ritchie thing, but there's some stuff like it when the film's going fast and when certain things I was trying to get, it just some parts just didn't add up. Some scenes just kind of like was there, and I just felt like I didn't need that scene at all. It was entertaining, but I felt like some of it just didn't fit some parts of the story and stuff as it was going on, and the concept, it just didn't fit there. And throughout the first and second act, it was going on, but some scenes out of that just kind of like stayed where it was just like dialogue and stuff, and it just, I wanted something to go on with it and stuff, and some of it can like feel like I want that to go on, and you got used to that, and when it gets to that part, it just didn't go to like something happening. But that's fine. I don't mind that, because multiple viewings, I probably won't look at that as a flaw, because I really enjoyed this film. Overall, this is fantastic from start to finish. If you like Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels and Snatch, those type of films, and Sherlock Holmes, and those are Guy Ritchie films, then I can see you liking this film, because this film was just so entertaining on so many levels. And I mean, from beginning, middle, and end, I can't see nobody getting bored with this movie. This is one of the best films, in my opinion, one of the best films of 2020. And as right now, I'm going to give The Gentleman a B+. Let me know in the comment section down below what you think about this film. Did you like it or not? Let me know. And let me know where's your favorite Guy Ritchie film. Man, this is going to be tough. After seeing this film, I might say I think I like Snatch. I like Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, but I think Snatch is my favorite Guy Ritchie film. But let me know in the comment section down below what's your favorite Guy Ritchie film. And that's pretty much it. And as always, if you like this video, click thumbs up. And if you're new to the channel, click subscribe and the bell button. That's why I can see you next time on Sly the Movie Guy. Peace.